Hey, great to see everybody. Really excited about the weekend for all the obvious reasons. Not just Auburn being an in-state rival, but we've had a good week. We've won four in a row, and we're putting ourselves in a position where it is a big weekend. Where we can really accomplish some big picture things. So. Uh, going to be a real challenge. Don't let Auburn's SEC record fool you. They're 1-11, but 9 of their 11 losses in league play have been by one or two runs. They've been in virtually every game. There's a nice nucleus of their team that has played in the College World Series. It's an older group of position players. It's a good offensive team, and it'll be a real challenge for us. So we need to continue to grow. I thought this past weekend at Texas A&M was the first time that we played a complete weekend, that we didn't have that one inning in every game, that we lost focus or fell apart, and we were able to put 9 innings together and do it on back-to-back days. So I'm happy with where our club is. I feel like we've grown a lot. We have so many of our position players that this is their first time through the league, and I think they've had 4 SEC weekends now, and you're starting to see some growth offensively. And obviously, we're starting to get healthy on the mound. It was great to have Chase Lee and Antoine Jean out there last weekend in College Station, and they both did some good things, and they'll take a step forward this week. And obviously, Connor Prelip's going to be back with us this weekend, and we're all really excited about him because he's such a difference maker. So it's going to be a great weekend, and really anxious to get started tomorrow night.
James, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll start off with a question for Coach. And can you tell me just about the atmosphere in the dugout with this team, from the home run chain to last night we talked about Prater eating Chex Mix, just the fun that this team is having in the dugout?
These kids, they really like each other. And, I have felt that from day one. I've always said we have great kids from great families. And they're just cool kids. I mean, I can walk into the team lounge at any point in time, and you're just going to see different kids hanging out. They like each other. They like being at the ballpark. They love baseball. They love to play. And, we obviously had a rough patch, and to our kids' credit, they never really flinched. They just kept competing and stayed positive. And, I'm not surprised that it's turning. I kept telling the guys, like, hey, man, I've been in this league 18 years. I'm very clear on what a top half of the league team looks like. I'm very clear on what a bottom third of the team looks like. And, I've even said publicly from day one, I've always believed in this group and that we had a lot of talent, a lot of really good players. And, I think if you take a step back and you look back at, the hours we had on the mound and how inexperienced we were positionally and the schedule that we played, Ole Miss and Tennessee and Arkansas, those teams are legit, man. So you start looking at all those variables at this point in time in retrospect, and you're like, well, of course you hit a little rough patch. So, but to our kids' credit, they've never really flinched. They kept competing. They kept playing, and, I'm sure Chase and TJ will roll their eyes. All I talk about is you get better at playing baseball by playing baseball, and just go play. Don't play to the scoreboard. I mean, there's some situational baseball, but just go play. And to our kids' credit, they've done a pretty good job of that.
Haley, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for chatting with us today. There's always, this sense of importance whenever you're playing a rival team, but given where this series kind of hits during the season, what do you think a win in this series, or even just a couple of wins, would mean for this team going forward?
Well, it's a big weekend for us, and I know with Auburn geographically being right down the road, it's a huge weekend for the fans. And I mean, I'd say it's a huge weekend for us, and not because of the rivalry per se, but just because it's the next SEC weekend. And with what we did last weekend, we've put ourselves in a position where, hey, if we finish the back half of league play strong, we're going to be in the postseason. So you only play 30 league games, and you got to find a way to win 15 of them. And, so it is a big weekend because we actually have a lot to play for, because the ultimate goal is to be in the NCAA tournament.
Clayton, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. I was just I was gonna get you to say a couple words about Chase Lee, and just how far he's kind of come in his career and how he's a leader out of the bullpen at this point in his career.
Chase is such a great story. I mean, everybody's talked about the true walk-on deal and the club team and all that. And like, I don't even like talking about that anymore because I feel like it almost kind of takes away. Like, to me, Chase is just like, he's just really good. I mean, he's a pitcher for Alabama. He's the best kid in the world. He's the best worker, tremendous competitor, a great teammate. And I would even tell you, as big of an impact as he has on our club on the field, which being a closer might be the toughest and most important role that you can have on a team. He may have a bigger impact on our club behind the scenes and in the clubhouse and away from the field just because of his, the type of person that he is. So, I'm just so thankful that Chase is a part of our program and just really appreciate what he's done for all of us in so many ways. And, if there's anybody that deserves to be successful, it's Chase. And, I think his path probably, besides the humility that he has as a person anyway, like his path really probably puts things in perspective and allows him to play the game with freedom and confidence, and, I think there are probably periods of time where maybe he has maybe a rough stretch or a little banged up or whatever. He can kind of take a step back and like, hey man, I was playing on a club team 3 years ago, man. Like, I'm not gonna, I don't know. It just probably puts things in perspective, I guess. And that's probably a better question for Chase, but he certainly approaches all that stuff with a level of maturity that we don't get to see at the college level very often.
James, go ahead.
Yeah, TJ, can you tell me a little bit about the origins of the home run chain and how that came to be in the clubhouse?
Yeah, so we actually bought it last year. Walker McClaney actually brought it in. I think he told me he bought it at like Walgreens or CVS or something. And then we just kind of made it look a little bit better. We put a little bit more glitter on it and some more like the little fake diamonds or rhinestones, whatever. We just glued them on. And we just started using it. I mean, one time we hit a home run and Walker was like, dude, we should definitely use this as a home run chain. I was like, of course, like, let's do it. And we did it one time and it hasn't stopped since. So, I mean, and bringing that chain out just brings like a lot of excitement to the players. And I mean, who doesn't want to put that chain on? I mean, when you put that chain on, you feel like you're on top of the world. So, but yeah, that chain is great. So.
And I'll tell you, James, we had probably the lowest point of the season or most traumatic point of the season was we went on a road trip and somebody forgot the home run chain, which is very traumatic. So TJ has officially been given the responsibility of being in charge of the home run chain. So if we hit a tank at some point going forward and that chain is not put on, it is officially TJ's fault.
Which road trip was that?
I don't know. Do you remember, TJ? It might have been one you didn't go on because you're hurt maybe or something?
Yeah, I think it was the Charleston weekend. We went to Charleston.
We probably didn't hit any home runs then. Probably your fault.
It probably was my fault.
Christopher, go ahead.
Chase, just talk about for you guys as a bullpen, knowing that your starters have been so good this season, especially getting Connor back too. How does that give you confidence, as a bullpen going forward?
It's really reassuring to know that those guys are going to put us in a position to win the game late. Our bullpen's been a little bit shaky. We've had some guys step up in some big roles, but the starters have really kept us in positions and really done an excellent job, especially with Connor going down early. Tyler stepped up and filled a role that we didn't expect him to, and it's pitched incredibly well. Dylan is pitching lights out right now. And so them just being able to put us in a position to win the game in the 7th, 8th, and 9th, I can't say enough about what those guys are doing.
Clayton, go ahead.
TJ, you've kind of been in and out this season with injuries and whatnot. How do you feel like you've kind of found your groove at this point in the season?
Yeah, I'll just say just staying true to myself, just believing in myself. All the hard work that, me and Coach Bo and Coach Z has put in, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's not like, I'm a bad player now. So just really just staying confident in my abilities to, perform the way I wanted to. And just constantly keep putting in work. I mean, you can always get better at something. And I just think that if, I constantly just work on my swing, work on whatever I need to work on, things will fall into place.
James, you're next.
Yeah, just for Chase, I saw you were nodding along when we were talking about the home run chain. Did the pitchers feel excluded when they can't get the chance to put on some bling?
Absolutely. I think if you ask any pitcher in the dugout, they would love to take a hack just to try it on. But that is the hitters group, and the way they've been hitting, especially this past weekend, we're going to let them have that chain because they definitely keep us in a position to win the games and been hitting really well the past couple weekends.
Clayton, you're next.
Chase, you look really comfortable out there on the mound in your closing role. What kind of helps you calm your nerves?
Just not putting my identity in baseball. Whether I fail or whether I succeed, I'm going to be the same person on and off the field. So taking that out there with me, knowing that I have the freedom to compete regardless of the outcome, and then just knowing that I can, make a pitch, that I've done it before, type thing. Having a little confidence, and also knowing I've got 7 guys behind me and one of the best catchers in the country behind the plate. It's gonna, they're all rooting for me, and they all expect me to get the outs. So it's really easy to believe in yourself when you got, everyone else believing in you.